Welcome back, everybody, to Pikmin's. We have reached the floor that is considered to be the bottom. Or not quite, actually. We're still mid-level. We'll be there soon enough, though. We've got this level, the next one. We're gonna take on this big-ass bulborb. We're gonna kill him. And then we're going to, continue down the hole. Hopefully get to max coins, and by max coins I mean 10,000 coins, which will then allow us to move on with our lives to the next area. Today's topic of discussion, because we've got a little bit more left on this level that seems to be pretty well underhand. You can see there's soap there, which is excellent for very accurate for a locker room or a shower area. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, yes. What I want to talk about today is I am trying to figure out why this past week I've been going to work and I've been dead tired. Okay. I've got a couple different possibilities, okay? Possibility one, I didn't help my brother move this past weekend, which was now increasingly getting farther away from past weekend as in yesterday versus past weekend as in 7 days ago. So I helped him move, and that was a lot of work. I went to bed early that night. I went to bed at like 8:45, which is super early for me. And I slept till about 7, plus or minus getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And, well, not plus or minus, I mean, you know, sleep minus however amount of time I got up to go to the bathroom for. And then, blah, 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 we move on with our lives, and, Monday rolls around. Now, Monday I decided I'm not going to go to bed at the right time. I'm going to go to bed at 12. Some of that had to do with the fact that I did go to bed at like 11-ish, but I was having trouble getting comfortable because it was so hot in my house. Okay, fine. So, eventually I was able to fall asleep. But I went to work and was like so effing tired. I could barely keep my eyeballs awake. I was like, am I getting sick? I'm not getting sick. Why am I so tired? Do I need to drink another caffeinated thing? I tried, but it doesn't really affect me. I don't, like, the caffeine doesn't really give me, like, a caffeine high or anything. Okay. Finally, lunch rolls around. I eat a sandwich. Then I start getting my energy back for the afternoon. Well, a near similar thing happened to me on Tuesday. Okay? Because on Tuesday, I woke... This time I went to bed a little bit earlier. I went to bed about 10 o'clock. Probably fell asleep maybe within an hour, 11 o'clock. 8 hours gives us to 7 a.m. Great, doing great. I woke up in the middle of my sleep cycle, unfortunately, on Tuesday. I dragged my ass for most of the morning till about 11 o'clock. Then for some reason, got my second wind. Good to go. And off we went. Well, these jellyfish drive me nuts. On the one hand, they eat my Pikmin, and on the other hand, I just blow them up, so I end up getting my Pikmin back anyway, so what does it matter? I have to think that they probably will eat them eventually. Or perhaps electrocute them or shoot them at me, I don't know. Who knows? Polly Pocket! Yay! Actually, it's just a compact. It's a compact. Name, Mirror Stage. That's pretty accurate for a Pikmin. Or, I'm sorry, an Olimarian who is very small. So, much like any good game that comes out of Nintendo, well, I shouldn't say every character, but the characters Olimar and Louie are based off of Mario and Luigi, because Olimar is Mario with the M move. Or is it? Nope. Nope, I'm wrong. I was thinking that because Mario goes M-A-R-I-O and Olimar's O. Anyway, there's an L in there, and there's no L in Mario. But we have Louie, who's also like Luigi, who's a little closer, I think. But yeah. So they're kind of based off of those characters, though I've never really known Luigi as being a food fiend, hungry all the time, capable of genocide of an entire species of people just because he's so hungry all the time. Yeah. But, yeah. Fun diddly stuff, right? Excuse me. Oh, what else? So yeah, I've been having trouble sleeping. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not having trouble sleeping. I'm sleeping like as well as anyone can sleep. You know, I go to bed. I fall asleep. I wake up, you know, a couple hours later, go to the bathroom, fall asleep, wake up when my alarm goes off. And there's not really much that wakes me up in the middle of the night other than maybe like a thunderstorm or something. But, even then, I haven't really been woken up by that either. I don't know. Not sure what my problem is. Could be I gotta stop drinking alcohol, or maybe that's what's causing it, because I drink a beer before I come home from work. Or I'm not getting enough nutrition. Or I'm not getting deep enough sleep, I guess. I don't know. Or I'm getting too much deep sleep. I don't know. Hard to say. I hate this guy. He's like a little crab, horseshoe crab. What you have to do is you have to lure him out like that, and then as soon as he comes out, you do this, which is basically pile up on him. And then at a certain point you will have to recall your Pikmin, because if he gets back in his hole, you cannot attack him. We're gonna pick up whatever's in here, maybe, if there's anything in there. I don't know if there's anything in there. Apparently there's not anything in there. Fine. And, we'll keep going. Now, water is bad for Pikmin that are not blue. Fire is bad against things that aren't red. Etc., etc. We've got guys to beat, things to collect, and let's see how quickly we can do those things. My name is Olimar. I'm a good guy. I'd try to take care of all the Pikmins and not kill as that many. My name's Louie. I'm gonna eat them all if I can. I'm super hungry all the time. I never got enough nutrition as a kid, so I need to eat all the time. Surprisingly, I'm not super fat, unlike everybody else in the show. In Pikmin 1, you crash land on the planet. Pikmin 2, Louie fucks you and you have to come back to the planet to collect treasures. So that you can then go back to Holokite and not get killed by mob bosses. Pikmin 3, something happens, I don't know, I'm gonna guess. Probably has something to do with, you know, now that we've discovered that the planet is full of rich items for us to take back, let's use the Pikmin to gather up more items to make more money. Also, Louie's still insane. Because he's a fucking nut job. But we'll get there. What is today?
Look, stop eating all my Pikmin. I'm not eating your Pikmin, you eat my Pikmin.
You just said you're not eating your Pikmin, I'm eating your Pikmin.
I'm eating your Pikmin, you're eating your Pikmin.
I wonder what a lid of a can's worth. I get it, it's metal, so you can use the metal for something. But I'm wondering if the can lid itself has any intrinsic value to them, like as like a buzzsaw, or as like a mirror, or something silly like that. This clamshell is worth 80. 60. Fair enough. Name. Scrumptious shell. Tin can's probably worth nothing. What? Probably worth more than 60, I bet. Or at least the top of the tin can should probably be worth like... I'm trying to think, what value would we actually put on a can lid? Open can lid. A couple cents maybe? Just for the material? The shell would be worth nothing. We're damn close to it. They're worth the same. Warple platter. Alright, we just need to make our way back to where Olimar is. Gather up the rest of the Pikmins. Dive deeper into the dungeon. Would you like to dive deeper with Pikmins? Yes! I would love to dive deeper with Pikmin. It's what I dream of. Also, I'm hoping that in this game, either now or perhaps later on, when we get closer, say, to the end of the game, they don't throw like a super dungeon in at me, like the Pit of 100 Trials. I would not enjoy a Pit of 100 Trials type challenge. There's something here, clearly. I don't know what's here. A bunch of drains make me nervous, though, that have guys popping out of them or something. Bulborbs, particularly, fit nicely in these drains. I'm just a mindless Bulborb whose only interest is eating in Pikmin. Alright, a sweet Pikmin power-upper. Drop one Pikmin, get 10 of the same color Pikmin. I can use any color too. I could use red on red, red on yellow, yellow on red. I can choose whatever. Alright, we're gonna get yellow Pikmin. I don't think that was the right choice. I think the right choice was probably to use a yellow Pikmin and get red Pikmin. But we'll see. Depends on who the boss is, I guess. Alright. Keep going. Got butterflies here. Come with me. With the butterflies and bees. Oh, something, something, something. As gently as can be. Along with me. Boy, that is a really, 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 really good, really dumb show. Like, Adventure Time is like 90% absolute goofball stupidness with like 10% like break your brain level of like lore and philosophy in it. And I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. I'm gonna be getting close to that stupid fucking... There's a treasure here somewhere. We gotta get it. Let's go find it. But like, whole first season is like, let's dance, mathematical, crazy shit. And then like Finn gets a little older in like season 2 and it's like, I'm interested in girls somewhat. And then the next season's like, I'm depressed because I can't hold down a girlfriend because I'm fucking 13, 14 years old. And between my immaturity and my emotions, I seem to wreck everything that I touch. You know, meanwhile, Billy, the hero he idolizes, has given up on fighting because he doesn't think that his ability to help people actually helps anyone. Ultimately, just leads to them being in more danger because they either rely on him too heavily to mitigate all of the problems of Ooh, and, you know, negates their, whatever the word is, self-reliance or self-actualization in this world. And at the same time, you know, he feels that even when he does good, it ultimately leads to a bad. You know, like for instance, you take out a werewolf, but in doing so, you've killed the werewolf and probably made it impossible for the werechildren to live. Or something, you know, something really bizarre like that. I don't know what to say about some of those characters, though. They did the right job. They did the right thing by not bringing certain characters back after a certain point. The fact that they brought the Goblin King back for more than 2 episodes, or is it just 2 episodes? I know he's in at least 2 episodes. I think he's in 3 episodes. That's nice. I'm glad they never had time to bring Donnie back. He was a trash character. Marceline's dad had, what, a couple episodes? He was okay, I guess. I don't know. There were just certain things that they would just sort of... You watching the early seasons of Adventure Time, you just throw it away. You know, oh, come with me and we're going to ascend to the 30th Dead World. It's like, okay, whatever that means. That's just nonsensical bullshit, right? Oh, no. The 30th Dead World, I believe, or is it the 60th Dead World? It's one of those Dead Worlds. Is Nirvana. It's like the highest plane of existence that you can have. And, like, apparently Jake's life, if you watch the mini episode movie, whatever they call those, after the quote-unquote the official end of the show, apparently through Jake's deeds, through his life, he sends to the whatever the highest dead world is. We'll just say it's the 60th Dead World. And Finn and his adoptive mother, adoptive father, and adoptive brother all end up at like the 59th Dead World or something. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little that lore's a little complicated. I don't really know what to make of it in many cases because, like I said, it's just a lot of ways it's just little cute kids going on a dumb, stupid adventure and silly things happen and you laugh and you go, oh, that was funny. The mountain farted and made lava, ha ha ha. And then there's the episode where like Finn, every time he opens up his eyes, he's back in a cave or a dungeon or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he ends up with a curse where every time he opens his eyes, he teleports back to the exact minute he entered the dungeon. So he never technically leaves the dungeon. So he like lives like a whole year of his life blind. Because he knows that if he peeks, so he's got a blindfold on, he knows if he peeks beyond the blindfold, it'll teleport him back to the beginning of the dungeon again. And ultimately what he ends up having to do is he ends up having to open up the door to the dungeon while blindfolded, which causes, I guess, a negation of the curse of some sort. I'd have to watch the episode again to really be able to fully explain it. It's been about like 2 or 3 years since I watched this series. Maybe even longer than that now. But that was a bizarre episode. There's an episode where he meets a comet, which is weird because the comet is a Catalyst comet that is kind of one of his incarnations, you know, because in the, I didn't mention the ship, but in Adventure Time they have reincarnation. So Finn at one point was a butterfly, and then in another life he was a comet, and then he was like a thief, warrior, and girl in another life, and then he's Finn in this iteration of his life, and then he gets reborn as another adventurer type character in far-flung future of Ooh. That kind of stuff's kind of trippy. But yeah, they did an episode where he's upset about, at that time he's dating the Flame Princess, and he told her a joke and she didn't think it was funny because she didn't understand the joke. And the end of the episode is basically she calls him back and says, "Oh, I got the joke finally," and then he feels better about himself. But what they do is on this rainy day in Ooh, when it's raining swords, they decide to build a pillow fort. Now, we're not just talking about grabbing some pillows off your couch and your chairs and your bed and building a pillow fort. I'm talking about getting like a what I can only describe as a hoard of pillows. Like you would see a dragon with a hoard of gold. You know, they hoard gold and they would have this big mountainous pile of gold and treasures that they've stolen or collected over the centuries, and they like to sleep on it because they're so avarice. They have a hoard of pillows, and they build this humongous pill thing. It's obviously not a mountain. It's not nearly the size of a mountain, but in terms of it, like a room, it's like a mountain. It's like this huge fucking pile that goes up, and they've got this high ceiling because they live in a tree. Just high ceiling, and there's just massive pile of pillows, and Finn climbs into it and ends up in the pillow world. He spends an entire lifetime in the pillow world, lives a whole life trying to figure out how to get back, and then ultimately deciding that he doesn't want to leave his pillow wife and pillow kids, and then he lives the rest of his life and dies an old man in this pillow world. And then as he's dying, he sees another sort of mysterious character that I won't get into because I'll end up in a longer discussion I don't have time for. But he bumps into a trans-dimensional creature that is considered like I don't know if it's a god or a demigod of that universe or whatever. It's some sort of destroyer is sort of what it is. And he bumps off this destroyer and he climbs out of the pillow fort, and Jake asks him, you know, what were you doing in there? And he can't remember because all of his previous life, whatever life he lived in there, is gone. It's a different lifetime, you know, a different person entirely, or perhaps just a very complicated dream sequence. Weird. That's again. That's where the weird dichotomy of Adventure Time is you get episodes like that like really make you think, or there are some episodes where you can think as hard as you like, but a lot of the way the characters portray a very deep philosophical idea is hard to explain. So they'll refer to it in very simple childish language, like, you know, getting into a relationship with a person requires a certain amount of maturity and intimacy, and, you know, finding the right person that you gel with. And Jake kind of explains this to Finn in like a number of different ways. He talks about the different levels. There's like 14 steps to getting to know a lady, and he's dating Lady Rainicorn, the unicorn. And so he talks about these different steps, like being able to touch her horn for the first time, which most of the characters in the show do not have horns. You know, stroking her fluffy tail. Most of the characters in the show do not have tails for you to stroke. But he's talking specifically about, and then like they'll talk about like a complicated situation like that, and they'll just sum it up as like, nah, Finn, that's all bunk. You know? You don't gotta be worrying about that stuff. You know, it's like putting a, you know, trying to put a parabola next to a square. They just don't work together. And you're like, how does that make any sense? And in a way, it does kind of make a little bit of sense, but I don't know. It is both the stupidest and most brilliant show I've ever watched. I've watched brilliant shows, I've watched stupid shows, but I've never watched a show that is so beautiful, so brilliantly stupid and deep and shallow all in the same breath. The plan here is we're going to kill off this guy by eliminating all of the bulb orbs. I can singular. I can separate out my Pikmin into blue Pikmin, and then just throw blue Pikmin at the glowy guy. Don't have to worry about them drawing some of my Pikmin that are the wrong color. Okay, we got one more treasure and about, what, three more enemies to collect. That's the balloon guy I can't collect. So, like I said, I got one, maybe two more treasures left on this level, and then we will drop down to the next level. This is Beach Cliff Sardines. Soybean oil. Interesting. I'm already past the $10,000 mark, so we are good. So as soon as we leave this, successfully leave this area. If I retreat now, I'll drop all of my treasures I've picked up so far. So I will basically lose everything that I've been working for this entire time. Yep, but we're gonna kill this guy off. I'm gonna pick up this pot. Okay, great. Let's pick up the pot. We'll move the pot back to our ship, and then we'll cut the episode. Alright, down we go. Next time on Pikmin, we're going to be doing whatever's in this level, and then done with the game.